Sometimes, we see that early sun strike coming out to see if you can get some scouting info on the fountain. Doesn't end up showing that. Enchantress, yeah, she's got enchant, so she's gonna go get a creep. Be wonderful like that. And Seneko already has placed that early ward.
It's really important to get the early vision up. I think they want to know what the lane matchups are coming from Empire. They want to know what they're doing so that they can get the matchups that they need. Empire prioritizes getting the offlane ward on the bottom side of the map, while Na'Vi goes for the top rune ward. Just something that they'll want to be playing around the runes a lot on the side of Na'Vi, because the Queen of Pain with a Fortunate Rune can definitely do a lot more work in the aggression that they're looking to apply.
Yeah, pretty exciting to see a Dendi Quap. Always something that Dendi's I think his mid play fits this patch where the mid laner needs to make a lot happen. And Dendi, obviously a player we've all seen make a lot happen. But we're going to actually see... Okay, somebody's going to rotate, yeah. We do see Empire decide to rotate down to bottom rune. I was going to say...
might be able to double room them here with the Nature's Prophet. I think they're going to get both.
And that is a really nice start from Na'Vi. It's not game-ending, but it's certainly where you want to be. And Funnick already taking a look around on that Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, it looks like Na'Vi has chosen to put the Venge plus the Enchantress and Wyvern in the basically an aggressive tri-lane with the jungler and the Enchantress. Bounty Hunter does block up Enchantress's creep camp at the side on the side of the Radiant, but she'll probably be able to find somewhere on either the Dire side, or she'll have to retreat back to her jungle. But they've really prioritized blocking her creep camps. They blocked the big camp near the tier 2 mid, as well as the one near the Ancients. So they really wanted to shut down the early aggression, which will make it harder for Na'Vi to do what they want in the top lane.
It is so rough right now to stop someone like the Enchantress or the Chen because of the new hard camps. You just can't block everything. And actually, Dichira, they still haven't actually sent up some help for general, but Dichira does get the D ward on bottom lane off on Havos, so...
Early aggression in the mid lane. Maybe your first blood might be coming up on the side of Na'Vi here.
They are targeting this stand-in, and that's going to be our first blood, as you mentioned. Very well done there. And now the supports, I imagine, will rotate up top, because general... He's getting nothing up there.
Yeah, solo offlane Venge is not something I'd consider traditional, but they definitely want to make it easier for Dendi to solo his lane, so they might have to force rotations from the supports top into the mid lane later on, which will really open up the Venge to apply more aggression and get more out of the lane in the top. So they kind of, by applying pressure mid, they're going to make it easier for them to do the lane that they're doing in the top lane.
Now the Quap, as you mentioned, she doesn't quite the draft of, hey, let's just push. Actually, Dendi taking a cold snap in mid lane. I don't think they have enough damage here, though. So just receiving heavy harassment. The Quap doesn't super fit the group up and push lineup. Do you think that's still Navi's complete goal here?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to kill Nopi here in the top lane, who just, honestly, he looked like he AFK'd. He just stood there when he was not stunned, so that was really odd play coming out from him. But I think that what the Quap does is that with the heroes they have, they don't necessarily... need another hero that pushes, but the way that Navi's lineup will work is that they're just going to snowball off the early kills, which will then allow them to push more than just one lane at once, as well as just push with less contesting coming out from the side of Empire. So Quap just offers that kill potential as well as that burst damage.
Ichiro, one more auto attack will get it, and Funnick gets that kill. This game is already a Motorfest.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep up with everything going on right now. It's only 8:15 a.m. and clearly they've got an action-packed game for us. Yeah, everyone's just dead. So definitely the power of having a Bounty Hunter on the side, like it makes it more viable for Spearbreaker to lane against the Nature's Prophet. Obviously, you can see by the last hits that he's having a rough time in that bottom lane, but that kill coming out from the Bounty Hunter will really help him have a better time in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like a difficult lane to pick the Spirit Breaker into the Nature's Prophet. Oh, and in mid again, FN. Okay, he's gonna get up the EMP, but will the auto attacks be enough? Unable to get that. Yo, he does just get it off, but the dust comes out. Seneko, not enough range. He puts up the high ground ward.
Dagger's gonna be close. I think he's gonna tick down to this. Oh, and barely.
Well, then he gets his kill.
Yeah, that's what they need to be doing in the mid lane. It is a Quaswex Invoker, the much more laning-oriented build for Invoker. He's considered a stronger laner when he has the Quaswex, but looks like there's aggression on the top lane as well.
Yeah.
No breaks on this train.
Rocket Barrage coming out onto Odd Style. They're going to get one pick there. Can they find General a bit far away? So I think that'll be that. And with the creeps around to help General, they're actually doing some damage out onto Funnick. They know where he is, but no sentries to give them vision. And they might get both creeps here. A nice bounty for whoever gets this center.
Yeah, no, it looked like they wanted to be aggressive with the Venge and the Enchantress in the top lane, but Funnick was he was in the right place at the right time, had a good read on what Navi wanted to do, and managed to turn around the kill onto the Enchantress in the top lane there.
And this seems to be like exactly what Empire needs to do. If you can come out in that mid game ahead, even though Navi have a strong group up and push, there should be some, okay, in mid lane, never mind. FN's going to go, is he? Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, they just keep doing the same thing. Aggressive blinking from Dendi behind with the slow onto him coming from the Wyvern, and looks like they might have a kill on Vos in the bottom lane.
Yeah, he goes down.
Playing a little bit too
right through a
aggressive.
sentry. Okay, Dendi. Oh, he doesn't get the
Blind
dagger.
Sprout.
Okay.
He has Scream up in 2 seconds. They might go for this. He might go for a blind blink into Scream.
He is, not in the right
Guessed
spot.
the wrong way. Juked.
So, well played there from Funnick. Both sides getting a lot of kills here. Of course, Navi's a little bit on top. I was going to say, obviously for Empire, if you can come into that mid-game ahead, you can pistol the push, but it's not looking like they necessarily will be.
Yeah, the Navi just had really good laning matchups. The top lane isn't the most ideal situation for Venge, but just with levels, that hero offers a lot to the damage output, as well as the push potential for her team. So, and the stun, she also has a stun and minus armor, so she's a very good utility hero, even though she's technically their carry. She doesn't necessarily need to be the most farmed hero on the map to do what they need her to do. So
yeah. Additionally, it does feel like when we take a look at the net worth and the experience, of course, I mean, part of that is just Dendi pulling so far ahead, but they are getting just a lot more across the map, even though Funnick's been involved in 2 kills. He doesn't have much, you know, not really picking up CS. Oh, charge onto D-Tier Raw, also the Janata, he has the Shuriken, and this should be a kill, but no, Funnick now in a lot of trouble. That cold embrace comes out from Wyvern.
There's also aggression coming out from Navi in the top lane as well. They killed the Gyrocopter with the Nature's Prophet ultimate, and then there's just chaos going everywhere around here.
Yeah. Okay, and Bounty Hunter actually gets the double down there. I transferred off the top to see what was going on, and Bounty Hunter gets the Wyvern after shurikening down Nature's Prophet. It's very even right now when we look at the net worth and experience, and I do have to say, obviously Navi has... who do you think comes out on top when it's pretty even going into mid-game?
I definitely think that if the game is even, then it'll favor Empire, but I think that it's something where that if Navi even gets a crucial kill at any time, they'll get more out of it than Empire will because they'll be able to push better, but more aggression on the mid lane, no time to talk.
Oh, the
here.
bash on Dendi! Her bows didn't continue to go for it. Sonic Wave comes out, and now again it's looking like FN mate. No, the Shadow Strike is done. Can Dichira get enough autos into No Fear? Oh, they just managed to get the kill. And Dendi right back up at full, using that regen rune.
Yeah, very convenient regen rune for him there. Allows him to regen all the way up, get basically a free ult off on all 3, turn the tables on the side of Empire there. So looks like that's going to transition to a push mid as well as Dendi TPing top, looking to be aggressive onto Aloha Dance. No ulti on Dendi, but they look like they still want to make this commitment.
They did miss the Hadouken, and now Dendi, he blunk in for that. This is going to lead to his death. The cooldown misses, but the charge from Havos and the Gyrocopter helps out, and now the ult coming out, and Aloha Dance, he's very low. Nature's Prophet? No, there's going to be a salve, so Aloha Dance, oh, they can't even knock it off.
It's just the power of Gyrocopter, exactly what I was talking about earlier, just the counter game potential, but here we go again.
Yeah, Havos, he manages to charge out. The Flat Cannon is still flying, they get some more damage onto Aloha Dance, but without a Nature's Prophet rotation, I don't think they can make this one latch. This game is, we're at 2 kills a minute already.
Yeah, you can tell that everyone's awake here. I may not be, but everyone else is, because this game is, I mean, it scores 8-6, more than, almost 2 kills a minute going on here.
Sorry about that background music, folks. 1 second, I forgot I left a tab open. That was awkward. Sorry, we're gonna see General take a lot of damage here. The coconut bounce is not quite what they needed. He's still taking damage. Nature's Prophet is coming in though. No Fear is gonna fall next. And Funnick running away. Really? Again, just both teams rotating on point.
Yeah, I mean, if you close your eyes for a second, you're gonna miss 2 kills in this game. That's all I know. That's definitely a worthwhile trade for the side of Empire, getting a trading a support for the core of the side of Na'Vi. And this is what Empire needs to be doing. Just keep counteracting the aggression coming from Na'Vi, applying their aggression of their own to make sure that Na'Vi can't split up the map and push the lanes like they want to be doing with the lineup that they have. So I definitely think that this is going to be in favor of Empire, but it could snowball pretty quickly out of control in favor of Na'Vi with just a few kills, like I said.
Now, you're mentioning snowballing. Obviously, Dendi has been one of the big winners in all of these engagements. He's always a player who can take advantage of this. His swap is rather farmed right now. He's 4-1. But how do they transfer that into something? I mean, this Invoker is pretty in trouble. So is it just kind of on Dendi's back now for a while, since his Invoker's going to be playing catch-up?
Yeah, it's definitely Denny's by far much ahead of the Invoker in the mid lane, which will make it so that if they both go to an engagement in any other lane, that Dendy will offer a lot more to the fight than the Invoker will. So it's one of those that Invoker, or the death that Dendy had top, is just something he has to avoid happening again, because Quap's a hero that is really good at getting ahead, but with just a few deaths like he had to the gyrocopter earlier, make it really hard for Quap to do what she wants to do, because she's so reliant on her burst damage, and the more items that the enemy team gets up, the harder it is for her to do her job. So basically, she's still very strong right now, but if that happens once or twice more, she's going to have a much harder time doing what Quap wants to do. So that's what Empire needs to be wary of. The next time around, they do have the Quap ultimate up. They're probably going to look to do something with it. She also has ED rune bottled, so they're probably going to look to apply aggression here. No smoke or anything on the side of the Enchantress. No, they have it flying out on the Courier, so yeah, definitely looking to aggressive right here.
Now, for a game this aggressive, do you ever consider on Dendi getting something like the Aghanims, or is it just awkward all the way?
It's one thing, it's something about the fact that they want to be fighting a lot, so he could go for the Ags, but I think that he's going to want to go for either like a BKB or an Orchid, something more...
Oh crap, on bottom lane, we have a call down, Funnick doing a lot of damage on Zero. Sonic Wave deletes him from the map, and now Dendi taking a lot of damage, blown up by that EMP, and Dejiro lost on the Nature's Prophet. We have a charge in deeper onto General. Could General do anything? Rocket Barrage gonna finish him off. And...
3 track kills.
Oh. Yeah, we haven't even discussed that with all the action. Obviously, you can't even trade here with Empire, since so much involvement from the Bounty Hunter means he got a very early level 6.
Yeah, that's the fight I was talking about with the Quap ultimate. They wanted to make something happen, and even though Quap had such a good start, you see the Gyrocopter's now 700 net worth ahead of her. The Invoker, who was about 3k behind, is now only about a 1.5k behind her in net worth. It's something where it's just going to become harder and harder for Quap to do her job. She does choose to go for the Orchid, though, as she has the first Oblivion Staff purchased. They do have a charge coming out on an art style in the top lane. Bounty Hunter is chasing him down. They'll go for this. They end up canceling it. Don't want to dive that hard.
Don't want to dive that hard with all these people who can rotate in, although maybe they should have, since Alt Style gets very low just to the Shuriken. And now, what is DJ Rod doing? He is murdering Witch Doctor again! This is... I'm not sure if all of his kills have been on Witch Doctor, but DJ Raw has been picking on No Fear this game.
That's what the early drums allows you to do. It gives you that extra movement speed to chase down heroes by yourself, as well as the right-click attack speed. He goes back to the Midas after the drums, though, which I like here. Even though that Na'Vi doesn't necessarily want to take this game super late, they don't really have a hard one-position right-clicker, so they definitely need more farm coming out of the Nature's Prophet this game. I like this a lot.
If we take a look around, obviously it was that series of kills on bottom, but the gold growth, which was about 3k in favor of Na'Vi, back to only 1,000 in their favor, and Empire leading in experience. So Na'Vi, we'll see if this will be the match that stops their split up. But let's see, you mentioned the drums on the Nature's Prophet. Dendi's going for the Orchid. Bench hasn't super revealed. Are you expecting just the normal Helm of the Dominator build-up?
Yeah, probably the Helm of the Dominator. Maybe goes into something like drums just for a little bit of extra tankiness. But we do see a smoke coming out from the side of Empire looking to run into Na'Vi here. They do not have any vision. They do catch the Wyvern.
Okay, Wyvern will throw out a dust. The cooldown though, Sonic Wave hits on both. Dendi may have to blink forwards for this, and he does. But now that puts him in full Rocket Barrage, Tornado, EMP range. Dendi gonna lose all of his mana, and the Habos charges through. Nether Strike onto Dendi. They picked up that one, and now damage being returned to Funnick. But again, we're seeing the Wyvern ult. You can't damage them back. They've actually managed to get a couple of kills here on the side of Na'Vi, and now Aloha dumps very low. FN, I don't don't think he can fight up against Artstyle, but the charge on through. Dichira isn't attacking anyone right now, and Artstyle, one bash will bring her down. So, a 4 for 3.
They're the last you'll...
Yeah, another chaotic fight. Nothing shocking here that there's a 5-on-5 engagement at the bottom rune at 13 minutes into the game. 4 kills on the side of Empire. I'm not sure how many of them were track kills, but looks like they gained about 1,500 more gold out of that fight than Na'Vi did, so that's clearly the sign of the track. It was only a 4 for 3, so power bounty hunter.
That is terrifying, right? We mentioned that Na'Vi's lineup, when you're doing a group up and push, you're already expecting to take less kind of gold and experience home since you're often grouped up instead of being split, and if they're already behind when they try that, we'll just have to see if this lineup can do enough.
Yeah, the thing is, Nature's Prophet is their highest net worth hero at the moment, and in these 5-on-5 engagements, the hero's nice to have the drums and everything, but he, other than his ultimate, he doesn't offer nearly as much as a hero like Gyrocopter with all of his split-up magic damage, as well as a lot of lockdown that Empire has in general, between the Invoker, the Quaswex Invoker, as well as just the Spearbreaker charging in and creating the havoc that you saw there.
Now, Invoker's also going... Oh, where is this charge? It's just a charge onto Dendi. I don't think it'll be... Invoker's also working on his Orchid, and Gyrocopter of course has up the Aquila and the drums. Pretty standard, saving up a lot of gold though on this Gyro.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll either go for the SNY or the BKB, something to get tanky against the lineup of Na'Vi. Really depends on what route he wants to go with it, how safe he thinks he has to play. BKB is obviously the safer option, but SNY is also just a tankier option for him as well.
Yeah, and there are quite a few things here that go through the BKB. So, just as you said, it depends. Player preference. We'll see.
Looks like he does go for the Sange. He has it flying out to him right now, so he has elected for the SNY.
Speaking of player preference, we've got Havost working on what is probably a BKB for him. Although you can never know. Havost sometimes skips BKBs on heroes that they make sense on and goes instead for the Sange. So,
yeah.
we'll see.
I'm sure, for the sake of our sanity as casters, that it will be a BKB.
Probably jinx it now. Either way, Soneko also very poor, but up top there is the push coming in, and don't know if, oh, he's actually just going to initiate with the Winter's Curse. The charge does come in from Havost. He gets a lot of damage with the cooldown already going on to General, and I think the edge of it hit on Soneko. General swapped into a Death Ward. Sonic Wave does come out from Dendi, but going to be hit by this EMP, and that should stop all of the aggression possible from Na'Vi.
Yeah, that's what happens if you don't manage to bring down Gyro before he gets all of his stuff off. The Sange paying off there allows him to get a good call down, as well as just dishing out all the damage, and gets his 2-0 in favor of Empire and the tower. So game's looking honestly pretty rough for Na'Vi here. It looks like Dendi's just going to solo kill.
Havost could not buy a bash. If Havost had bashed once or twice there, I think he would have gotten that kill, but Dendi had the DD and gets a big old streak there.
Yeah, that's something that definitely Na'Vi needed there. I mean, it's RNG heroes are frustrating sometimes. He probably hit him 6 or 7 times and never got to 17%. So definitely helps for Na'Vi here. But they're definitely going to have to get some good snowballing kills with this Orchid that Dendi has now picked up. It's an early Orchid, but the Gyrocopter is really well off. The Invokers made the comeback, and a lot of, like I said, the net worth of Na'Vi is on this Nature's Prophet. So as long as Empire keeps holding on the way the game's going right now, I think their late game's definitely superior to that of Na'Vi. Except for the fact that if Chantress does get big, she is 7th on the net worth right now. She does have the Dragon Lance up, which will increase her output of damage a lot. Has elected to just skip all the small items entirely and go straight for the Dragon Lance, so...
Is there any reason, albeit she's playing that 4 position Enchantress, but it feels like regardless of your position, Enchantresses these ways, Dragon Lance into Hags, is there any reason to go other team utility items on her, or do you think that is such a more powerful combo?
Some people go for like the early drums for the tankiness and things like that, but other than that,
General
I think
is
those are
dead.
pretty much core.
Oh,
yeah.
Nature's Prophet is going to come in. General actually a little bit tanky here. Can he get saved? The Sprout doesn't help out enough, but Dendi is here now. And he doesn't have Sonic Wave, but the auto attack Spunic ends up dying for this. Okay, yeah, he's just going to stay there. I guess he was buying out.
Yeah, I said at the start of the game, it's deceiving how tanky Vengeful Spirit is. It's not a hero that you defaultly think is tanky, but it looks like Na'Vi has decided to smoke off the back of those 2-for-1 kill on the side of Na'Vi there, so it looks like they want to keep the aggression up. Quap did not use her ultimate, It looks like they might be possibly worried about Roche or be looking for the gyrocopter. He has no TP scroll, so they know he can't get out of this.
Oh, and Odd Style just gonna take a full rocket barrage to the face. Needs some help, maybe. There is the backup. Dendy's coming in. There's also gonna be a Sprout to make sure that Odd Style doesn't take any more rocket barrages. And goodbye, Gyrocopter. Another big kill for Na'Vi.
Yeah, this is exactly what they need to be doing. Like I said, they just have to be getting kills with this Orchid, otherwise this game is going to get really hard really quick. So definitely in favor of Na'Vi here. I'd be curious to see what Dendy's going to go next. He could go for the Acceptor for the constant fighting, like you said, or he could elect go for the BKB because Empire's line is pretty scary. It looks like they've chosen to go for the Roche following the Gyrocopter kill.
Yeah, it's something they should be able to do in short order. Also, Digerot, he's gone for the Maelstrom over maybe the Aghanims or the Octarine. Do you think, I mean, to me that signifies more split pushing.
Yeah, they just don't have the right clicker, as I mentioned. With the Venge offers a lot of damage to heroes that do right click, but she herself isn't usually enough damage output alone, so he's chosen to go for the more right click oriented Prophet. And it's also a split pushing item as well, so it's a little bit of what they need in this game. They don't really have the sustained damage to bring down a hero like Gyrocopter if he chooses to go more of like the Octarine and Ags route, so they definitely are focusing on having just the more consistent damage output from the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, and also in that fight, right before the fight began, I think Altstyle killed the courier. I'm not actually 100% sure. It seemed like the only position the courier could have gone down, actually. Will you give me it will not give me a location. It was an empty courier, though, so not the biggest of impact, and Digerot's just going to do some cliff jungling. That's what you do.
Yeah, nothing else to do. Might as well cliff jungle on the side of the Radiant.
Yeah, and Dendy not going to end up running into them. Yeah, it's a nice cliff jungle. You can also get the Ancients, you know, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's 2-for-1 camps for sure, and looks like Dendy is going to go for the, most likely the BKB on the Quap, has the Overblood purchased up, sitting on about 1900 gold, so he's going to have that in short time.
He's been having so much trouble with these. I mean, part of it's RNG, but there's been some awesome coconut bounces into EMPs that have just been wrecking Dendy's ability to be useful. So, of course, the BKB makes a lot of sense. They've got Aegis. Do you try to push with this, or do you go for a big fight? What's the plan from Na'Vi here with this Aegis?
I definitely think they're going to look to get their lanes in the right area, right on the right side of the map. Like, they want to have them all pushed out and then possibly to get a kill at the start of a fight and push off of that. Looks like they're definitely going to make something happen here. Looks like they have vision of Empire.
Ooh,
Winter Wyvern gets a good ulti off.
But at the same time, probably going to pay with that for his life. No, the swap from General means that General has no mana going into this engagement and is going to take a cooldown. Seneko taking that as well. Oddstyle immediately blown up. And Na'Vi, maybe not the engagement they wanted. Dendy still could maybe think about doing something. General, again, they found you. He is tracked up, charged, and Dendy just blinks away. Hi, General.
Yeah, they just didn't have the Quap there ready to burst down the targets that they needed to at the start of the fight, so Empire got all their abilities off, got a big call down once again, huge EMP tornado that forced out the swap. That, you know, like you said, the Vengeful Spear lost all of her mana at the very start of the fight, so she was pretty much useless for the rest of the time, and huge track kills coming out from Empire, and that's exactly what Na'Vi can't afford to do with their Aegis. So they're going to have to make sure they use the rest of their Aegis wisely, because this game could easily get out of hand very quickly with the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed actually with the Na'Vi's. I mean, for a while there they had a lead despite being downing kills against what has been a lot of track kills. So showing off the efficiency of this Nature's Prophet. He does have up Mjolnir now. There are, of course, lots of damaged instances coming out of Empire, so maybe putting that shield on someone will help, but let's see.
They're going to have most likely 2 BKBs coming out from Empire. Gyro's sitting on 3k gold. Hobos is only about 100 off, so the Mjolnir's nice, but it may not do as much damage as they're hoping to do in the team fights they have because of the double BKB coming out from the side of Empire.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the reason, as you mentioned, for the lack of the Aghanim's Octarine, but we'll have to see. And this Invoker, as we've talked about, starting to pick back up. Maybe going for Shiva's here next. Gonna start having some defense against those, you know, the minus armor coming out from the bench.
Yeah, the Venge elected to actually go for a Vlad's. That's an interesting rendition of the Helm of the Dominator build. like I kind of could have guessed that she went for a more utility build because she wasn't, even though she was kind of the carry role in this game, she wasn't the hero that had the most prioritized farm, so she's not the heavy right clicker. She's just trying to give the auras to her team, the minus armor, maybe help save somebody with the swap, so definitely more synergizes with what Navi's game plan is here, and it looks like they want to apply pressure to top tier 2. It looks like it's just going to go down for free. They are going to back off because they're not sure where Empire is.
Oh, speaking of not sure where Empire is, Altstyle's about to find out. There's a charge to his face and a shuriken. I mean, they should have enough damage. Habost even pops his BKB here because the rest of the team is coming in. Altstyle still not dead. A nice Winter's Curse setting up, doing a lot of damage. Funnick almost dead from his allies, but there's going to be a Tornado EMP Sunstrike blowing up Altstyle. Can Navi find a return kill? They kill off the bounty using Dendi. Dendi blinking forward still has that Sonic Wave, but they have to catch someone here, and it's just not looking like they have it. Dendi blinks forward, gonna find FN, immediately invokes that Ghost Walk. They're out.
Yeah, I just learned a new interaction. BKB makes it so that he doesn't get slowed by the Enchantress passive, but it does not apparently remove it if you already are slowed by it, so he used his BKB in order to get his attacks off and then couldn't attack anyways. So, but the Aegis does go down.
I didn't know it didn't dispel it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but he was still attacking really slowly when he used his BKB, so I guess that answers the question there, but it looks like they weren't able to accomplish anything with their Aegis. Like you said, they needed some more kills out of that, but they weren't able to get anything on the backside, only trading 1 for 1, and Bounty Hunter pretty much doesn't count even as a hero because you kind of expect him to die, and he does his job by getting the track kills for you.
Yeah, and as you said, Aegis expired. They're going to have to wait for either the next Roshan or hope that their split pushing works. And speaking of, it's doing very well, although a charge coming out from Habost. Gonna land onto General. He gets the stun off, but Habost has the Nether Strike at the ready. There it goes, and there's no team follow-up. EMP bringing her down.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Spearbreaker is a hell of a hero. That's all I can really say about that. You get caught out of position even slightly, and you're just going to go down. To something like that. There's no escaping the charge, plus the track movement speed. Between the track and the empowering haste, a lot of the heroes on the side of Empire are going to be virtually hasted at any time that they're chasing somebody.
Yeah, and again, they've spotted somebody out. It's DJ Raw. They're going for him. Spiritbreaker Habost really showing what this hero can do. I mean, DJ Raw, you want to be sneaky on that Nature's Prophet. Instead, you're going to be dead. He tries to get off the lightning, but not enough.
The Spiritbreaker pick was the perfect pick for the 4th pick coming out from Empire. Like we said, the Navi just wanted to split up the map, and that hero punishes that really hard.
Oh, and
Looks
again,
like
Funnick. Yeah, he actually... Oh, they did end up dusting him, so he will fall. But as you mentioned, Bounty Hunter for Nature's Prophet, not ideal.
Yeah, that's the most farmed hero in the game for a Bounty Hunter who's already got a mech and a Force Staff, so I think he's sitting pretty as well. So I think that's definitely not the best trade for the side of Navi, but at least they got something out of it after the Prophet went down.
Nice job there. Aloha Dance already has a Scotty up on this gyrocopter.
Yeah, screw BKB, he says. He recognizes that they have a lot of stuff that goes through it, and he just elects to go super tanky. As we've seen in these fights, if he survives the early burst damage, he gets all of his abilities off, and the cleanup crew coming out from the Spearbreaker and the Invoker, the Witch Doctor ultimate, he just needs to survive, and he's acknowledging that. I really like the item pickup here, and it wasn't something I thought he would get, but it definitely makes sense with how the game's been going.
How did Navi bring that down? I mean, he is, as you said, he is so incredibly tanky. And other than Nature's Prophet, I mean, sure, Quap, she scales well, has decent auto attacks, but she's not going to deal with a Scotty. Funnick again, although he has backup this time, Aloha Dance drops back hold, and Funnick finally goes down to the Nature's Wrath. And Dendi has a haste, so should be able to get out, but Seneko, there is a tornado with your name on it. Was the heal enough? No, it wasn't. And Aloha Dance very fast, going in. BKB's popped by everyone. Dendi gets the blink off, but Oddstyle in a bad position. This team fight is entirely chaotic. The Invoker taking a lot of damage with a Nether Strike onto Dichira. Goodbye, Tree Man. And Invoker still not dead. Dendi goes for the Sonic Wave, does end up picking him off. Nobody else left, it looks like, to auto attack. Aloha Dance, they're going in, but you can see they're just tickling him with all that Scotty health. Maybe they can burst him. Dendi has a little bit, takes another rocket barrage. There's the ult coming out, the impetus. Will Aloha Dance finally go down? They get him. Dendi, though, may end up paying for this one bash. And Habost kills his former teammate, and now just gonna go for the TP away. They don't have the stun.
I don't know if that was as much of a team fight as it was just a free-for-all. There were like 4 different fights going on at once in there. The Venge was contesting the Invoker, the Spear Breaker was on top of the Nature's Prophet and the Co-op. I mean, there was just so much going on in that fight, but it looks like in general, after the fight recap, just disappeared on me. It looked like that was in favor of Empire based on the fact that they got all the track kills. The Gyrocopter, even though he's that tanky, he has a ton of armor and a ton of HP, but saw there the work that the 4-positioned Enchantress does. The Impetus just dealing out so much damage to the Gyrocopter. I guess that's how they're going to bring him down. So
yeah. We were discussing earlier whether it's worth it for her to go, you know, the Ags. Oh, Phonic actually may just murder her. Oh, these get seen out, and now he's the one taking a lot of those Impetus charges. Do they have dust between them? No, it doesn't look like it, so also gonna TP out just fine. I was saying, it clearly shows this Enchantress can do a lot of work, and again, the net worth and experience both really close considering we're 28 minutes into this game.
yeah, this has been an all-out brawl, trade for trade on both sides, but I think Empire scales better, but Navi does have 4 semi-carries. That's pretty much what we've got going for us here. But they
Raw, yeah, they blocked Phonic, now they got the Death Ward going on to DJ Raw. He is going to get bashed back into it, taking no physical damage though. Here comes the cooldown. He is in that new 10-second BKB. Can they pick up a boast? A nice tornado comes out, going to EMP a bunch of them, and there's the Shivas, but Dendi blinks forward, really wants to murder her boast, and we'll be seeing if they can catch FN. Looks like that's the end of the team fight. They'll be taking another one of these.
Yeah, try to talk for 10 seconds and another fight breaks out. Looks like they're going to be able to get the second Roche on the side of Na'Vi here. Exactly what they need to be doing. 2 kills, like you said, the Shiva's done on the Invoker. Looks like the Quap could be going for the Shivas, possibly an AC with all the right clickers that they do have on their team.
Oh, and they're going in for more. There's going to be the Winter's Curse just to catch out Aloha Dance. They already can put the Shadow Strike on here, and here it comes, the Impetus. Extra damage will be done afterwards. Sonic Wave comes out too. Aloha Dance is going to pop to that Orchid. DJ Raw saved in that Cold Embrace, and Phonic, he is dusted there. But they'll just go for the tower.
Yeah, really good aggression coming out from Dendi there. They had the ward that saw the Gyrocopter up there. He immediately blinked out of the Roche the second they got it and managed to get the dagger off, which allowed the Wyvern to... Even though the ultimate doesn't do any damage, the Wyvern ulti served as the lockdown for all of Na'Vi to catch up to Dendi and bring him down.
Now, I had some doubts on this Wyvern in the draft. You just mentioned kind of the key way that they've been using this Wyvern as the catch hero, using that Winter's Curse. Do you think that's kind of where the hero needs to go from now on? Or do you think it just happens to work this game because they don't have necessarily a whole heap of other catch on Na'Vi?
I think it's partially that, but I think it's also that a lot of Na'Vi's heroes, like especially once the Quap blinks in, like if the Venge and the Nature's Prophet are in, like the T or the swap in, a lot of them don't have a way to immediately get out, and they can be brought down relatively quickly. And we've seen several pretty life-saving Cold Embraces coming out from the side of Seneko, so I think that's just something that they also had in mind with the pick. They had 3 squishy cores already, and Seneco's just been saving a lot of them with the Cold Embrace. The Prophet had TP'd in, was down to like 200 health, and managed to survive with a Gyrocopter Bounty Hunter hitting him only because of the Cold Embrace. So I think that the hero partially serves as the initiation, but I think with the change to the ultimate, people are going to be picking her a lot more for the Arctic Burn as well as the Cold Embrace that we've been seeing in these fights.
Now, speaking of interesting item pickups, Dendi has gotten an Assault Cuirass. It doesn't opt to go for the Shivas. Kind of interesting. I don't know whether the Nature's Prophet will maybe go for that eventually, but he does pick up the AC, I guess, hoping for more right-click damage from the Nature's Prophet.
It actually helps heroes like Enchantress. Enchantress doesn't really want to build attack speed items, but really benefits heavily from the attack speed. And it's just another aura. I mean, Navi's got the Vlads, they've got the Venge aura, they're going Ags on the Venge as well, so even when the Venge dies, they'll have the aura. They're basically giving themselves damage through auras rather than the actual right-clicking heroes that standard teams usually, or that standard lineups usually go for.
Oh, DJ gets the Sprout on the top lane onto Aloha Dance, immediately the silence, and because there's no DKB, he just has to stand and take it, and that burst damage coming out from the Soulbone on the Orchid. Well played there. They get a huge pick.
Yeah, that Scotty has really seemed to backfire on him. He doesn't have a Culling Blade, so Sprout serves as a 6-second lockdown. That keeps him in place for the Co-op to be able to catch up, and the Soul Cuirass, along with the Crystallis coming out from the Nature's Prophet already, they right-click pretty hard on the side of Navi.
there's no one on Empire to pick up something like a Force Staff other than the Bounty Hunter who just wasn't close enough. Obviously the Witch Doctor rushing the Axe.
Yeah, the Axe is really nice and all for a Witch Doctor, but they have so much armor on the side of Na'Vi, and they can catch out from the bottom lane.
He is dead. Another Winter's Curse initiation there.
And once again, using it simply for the stun to be able to have the other heroes catch up and charge on Odd Style in the mid lane.
Yep, we're gonna see a swap attempt coming out, but Havost has got Alt Style this time. General also is tracked. Dendi has come back in though, stunned onto Havost. Dendi just gonna scream on him a little bit. They're gonna let him finish him off, and now Dendi looking for more. Does not have that Sonic Wave, but the auto attacks from DJ are so overwhelming. And with 4 dead, could this be high ground? Oh, they're actually going in onto Funnick. Dendi just using that gem to poke away at him. That's a full team.
And this snowballed very quickly back towards Na'Vi with these Roches as well as the pickoffs that they have at the start of every fight. And I mean, this is what happens when you have a lineup with Venge and all the auras. They just take all your buildings after 1 or 2 good fights.
Yeah,
they, as you said, going down.
And it's looking like they could go for top. They're actually maneuvering to kill the heroes, but they have auras. They have Dendi with an Aegis for another... Oh, actually only 30 seconds on that Aegis, so he needs to use it or lose it. There's going to be a buyback on the Bounty Hunter. Rax going down quickly. Aloha Dance does drop the cooldown. Dendi's being tracked up. Charge onto Saneko, who doesn't have that ult, but they managed to, again, Aloha Dance out of this fight for 6 whole seconds in that track. Both taking a lot of auto attack damage. Dendi actually uses his BKB here and avoids mass amounts of damage. Aloha Dance trying to flat cannon, but it's not enough. Only kills off the Venge. Funnick also going to fall here since they have a gem. And that's GG.
Yeah, that game got out of hand very quickly. It just shows that, like, you wonder where all the damage from Na'Vi comes from, and it has to be the auras, the Venge, plus the AC and the Vlads. I mean, they have no standard right clickers in that game, and yet they were able to bring down that 2600 HP 24 armor gyrocopter like he was nothing. So definitely well executed on the side of Na'Vi. A couple hiccups in the early to mid game from